Welcome back. I'm Pratap here. Today is 11th February 2025. In this video, I'm going to generate different supply demand zone reports useful to the premium subscribers. Before that, please understand we are providing complete free training on supply demand zone price action. You might be knowing the cost of the training is over $8,000, but we are providing complete free training and all the training lessons are available at our NeoStock YouTube channel. So where they are available, how to access? So from our home page, click on the tab Posts. Some of you might be seeing the tab Community. So click on the tab. You get access to this post. This post is having a YouTube playlist link that will take you to all the training lessons. You just click on the link. Now we are into supply demand zone price action course YouTube playlist. I kept all the videos, training lessons in this playlist. You need to start your training from lesson 1.1 that is available at the bottom of the page. Just scroll down to the bottom of the page. Here starting from lesson 1.1, all the training lessons I placed in an order. So please go through all these lessons one by one according to my training instructions mentioned at our Telegram channel. So please go to the Telegram channel. I provided the link to our Telegram channel in this video description. So join in the Telegram channel. In the Telegram channel at the pinned messages, they are available at the top of the Telegram channel window. Click on the pinned messages. There you can find all my training instructions. So you learn this course according to my training instructions, then definitely you will become a very good independent trader in next 3 months time period. Make use of this opportunity and become a good independent trader. Okay, now let's get into the report generation. First, I am going to generate reports for different time frames starting from yearly. So yearly time frame. Price closed inside the yearly demand zone. We got 4 stocks. I am giving you only few seconds time to watch the report. So I request you pause the video, study the report and then proceed to the next reports. Those who don't understand the structure of this report, I request you complete our training lesson 21.1, that is part 1 of lesson 21. In that video, I have explained each and every column, their values, abbreviations in detail. Okay, next. Yearly time frame. Price closed inside the yearly supply zone. No stocks are available. Next time frame is a half yearly. Stocks near half yearly demand zone. We got 1 stock. Next, half yearly time frame, stocks near half yearly supply zone. We got 1, no stocks are available. Half yearly time frame, price closed inside the half yearly demand zone. 9 stocks are filtered. Next, half yearly time frame, price closed inside the half yearly supply zone. We got 1 stock. Next time frame is quarterly, stocks near quarterly demand zone. We got 5 stocks. Next quarterly time frame, price closed inside the quarterly supply zone. We got 2 stocks. Next quarterly time frame, price closed inside the quarterly demand zone. We got 42 stocks. So first 22 stocks in the list. I'm scrolling the list down. Total 42 stocks are filtered. From this list, we can further filter by setting the high probability parameter EMA Confluence. So that means how many quarterly demand zones are having quarterly EMA Confluence. Let us filter. I am going back. Here in the EMA Confluence filter at quarterly time frame, I am setting the filter. Quarterly demand zone is having quarterly EMA Confluence or not. So not only this filter, but EMA Confluence filter works or makes sense only in the trending market, but not in the sideways. So that is the reason why in the trend at a quarterly time frame, I am setting either only up or down, but not sideways. See, now the list is come down to 26 from 42. Instead of 42, now we got 26. So all these 26 quarterly demand zones are having quarterly EMA Confluence. Okay, next, quarterly time frame. Price closed inside the quarterly supply zone. We got 3 stocks. Out of these 3, how many quarterly supply zones are having quarterly EMA Confluence? Let us verify. So in the EMA Confluence at quarterly time frame, I am setting the filter quarterly supply zone having quarterly EMA Confluence. Trend on the quarterly time frame is either up or down. We got 2 stocks out of 3. These 2 quarterly supply zones are having quarterly EMA Confluence. Okay, this is about quarterly time frame. Next time frame is monthly. Stocks near monthly demand zone. We got 8 stocks. Next, monthly time frame, stocks near monthly supply zone. We got 3 stocks. Next, monthly time frame, stocks price closed inside the monthly demand zone. We got 53 stocks. First 20 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. Currently, NIFTY is closed inside the monthly demand zone. Okay, we can further filter this list based on monthly demand zones with monthly EMA Confluence. So in the EMA Confluence at monthly time frame, monthly demand zone having monthly EMA Confluence, trend on monthly is either up or down. With these filters, we got 23 stocks. First 21 stocks in the list. Look into Nifty 50. It is price closed in the monthly demand zone, and this monthly demand zone having monthly EMA Confluence. I am scrolling the list down. So total 23 stocks are filtered. Okay. Next, monthly time frame, price closed inside the monthly supply zone. We got 9 stocks. Out of these 9 monthly supply zones, how many are having monthly EMA Confluence? Let us verify. So monthly time, when the EMA Confluence at monthly time frame, I am setting the filter monthly supply zone with monthly EMA Confluence. Trend on monthly is either up or down. With these filters, we got 5 stocks. These 5 monthly supply zones are having monthly EMA Confluence. Okay, this is about monthly time frame. Next time frame is weekly. Weekly time frame, stocks near weekly demand zone. We got 23 stocks. So first 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. Okay, next, weekly time frame, stocks near weekly supply zone. We got 4 stocks. Next, weekly time frame, price closed inside the weekly demand zone. We got 95 stocks. First 15 stocks. So let me quickly scroll the list down. Later we will further filter based on the EMA Confluence. I'm scrolling the list down. This is for reference purpose. So total 95 stocks are filtered. Out of these 95, how many weekly demand zones are having weekly EMA Confluence? Let us identify. Going back in the EMA Confluence at weekly time frame, I am setting the filter weekly demand zone having weekly EMA Confluence, and trend on the weekly should be either up or down but not sideways. So with these filters, now list is come down to 17 stocks. That means out of 95 stocks, these 17 stocks, weekly demand zones are having weekly EMA Confluence. And of course, current price closed inside the weekly demand zone. So these zones are having high probability compared to the remaining weekly demand zones. Of course, remaining weekly demand zones also high liquidity zones might be there. Probably they might be having strong institutional order flows. But this is based on EMA Confluence. Okay, next, weekly time frame. Price closed inside the weekly supply zone. We got 8 stocks. Out of these 8, how many weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA Confluence? Let us verify. In the EMA Confluence weekly time frame, setting the filter weekly supply zone with weekly EMA Confluence. Trend on the weekly should be up or down. With these filters, we got 3 stocks. These 3 weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA Confluence. So this is about weekly time frame. And next time frame is daily. So entry time frame daily, let us find the stocks near daily demand zone. We got 19 stocks. Okay, let us identify high liquidity demand zones from this list. This is NIFTY Private Bank. It is not listed in F&O. I am ignoring that. ABC Capital is a pierced demand zone, so I am ignoring it. These are the low priority demand zones. If you want, you can plan your trades, but success rate is less than 80%. Low priority, high liquidity zones. Okay, we got Hindustan Unilever. This is a daily high liquidity demand zone. This is the first one. Next, LIC, Housing Finance. Second one. Next, Nestle. This is the third zone. Next, Poonawalla, fourth zone, high liquidity zone. Tata Steel is pierced, already pierced 2 times. If anybody wants to look into the pierced zone strategy, you can focus on this stock. Okay, these are the 4 high liquidity zones we identified from this list. Tata Steel we can't use for high liquidity zone strategy. You can use pierced zone strategy, but not high liquidity zone. For high liquidity zone strategy point of view, we identified 4 high liquidity daily demand zones from this list. Okay, next, for daily time frame, stocks near daily supply zone, we got 9 stocks. Out of these 9, how many supply zones are having high liquidity zones? Let us verify. We have only one high liquidity daily supply zone from this list, that is Ultra Cement. Okay, this is about high liquidity zones on daily time frame. Next, for daily time frame, price closed inside the daily demand zone. We got 104 stocks currently priced in closed in this. Let me quickly scroll the list down. Later we will filter based on EMA Confluence. I'm scrolling the list down. I'm giving you only few seconds time. You have to pause the video. So this is the complete list. Now out of these 104 stocks, price closed inside daily demand zones, how many daily demand zones are having daily EMA Confluence? Let us verify. So I'm going back. In the EMA Confluence, a daily time frame, setting the filter, daily demand zone having daily EMA Confluence, and trend on the daily time frame should be either up or down. With these filters, now the list is come down to 30 stocks from 104. So first 15 stocks in the list. I'm scrolling the list down. So total 30 stocks. So in these 30 stocks, current price closed inside the daily demand zone, and these daily demand zones are having daily EMA Confluence. Okay, similarly on the daily time frame, price closed inside the daily supply zone, we got 10 stocks. Nifty Bank is closed inside pierced supply zone, which is already pierced 3 times. Maybe you can use pierced zone strategy for this Nifty, Bank Nifty. Okay. Out of these 10, how many daily supply zones are having daily EMA Confluence? Let us verify. In the EMA Confluence daily time frame, I am setting the filter, daily supply zone having daily EMA Confluence. Trend on daily time frame, I am setting up or down. With these filters, we got only 3 stocks. These 3 daily supply zones are having daily EMA Confluence. So this is about daily time frame. Next time frame is 125 minutes time frame. Stocks near 125 minutes demand zone, we got 11 stocks. Next 125 minutes time frame, stocks near 125 minutes supply zone, we got 5 stocks. Okay, next time frame is 75 minutes. Entry time frame 75 minutes. Let us find the stocks near 75 minutes demand zone. We got 7 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity 75 minutes demand zones from this list. First one is Adani Green, having a high liquidity 75 minutes demand zone. We have one more, Shriram Finance. This is also having high liquidity 75 minutes demand zone. So we identified 2 high liquidity 75 minutes demand zones from this report. Okay, next 75 minutes time frame. Let us find the stocks near 75 minutes supply zone. We got 6 stocks. Out of 6, any high liquidity supply zones? Let us verify. Coromandel is having a 75 minutes high liquidity supply zone. And L&T Finance is also having 75 minutes high liquidity supply zone. That means we identified 2 75 minutes high liquidity supply zones from this list. So with this we have completed the identification of high liquidity zones from both daily and 75 minutes time frame. Okay, next time frame is 25 minutes. Stocks near 25 minutes demand zone, we got 9 stocks. Next 25 minutes time frame, stocks near 25 minutes supply zone, we got 5 stocks. Okay, next time frame is 15 minutes. Stocks near 15 minutes demand zone, we got 6 stocks. Out of these 6, how many 15 minutes demand zones are having zone confluence with ITF time frame? That is 75 minutes demand zones. So let us set demand zone confluence. That is 15 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone confluence. With this filter, we got 4 stocks. That means all these 15 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. Okay, next, for 15 minutes time frame, stocks near 15 minutes supply zone, we got 9 stocks. Out of these 9, how many supply zones are having a zone confluence with ITF time frame? That is 15 minutes supply zone confluence with 75 minutes supply zone. I am enabling the filter. With this filter, we got 2 stocks. That means these two 15 minute supply zones are overlapped with 75 minute supply zone. So this is about 15 minutes time frame. Next time frame is 5 minutes. Stocks near 5 minutes demand zone, we got 11 stocks. Out of these 11, how many demand zones are having ITF demand zone confluence? That is 5 minutes demand zone with 15 minutes demand zone confluence. I am enabling that filter. So with this filter, we got 6 stocks. In this 6, first one is a pierced demand zone, ignore it. And remaining demand zones, 5 minutes demand zones, are overlapped with 15 minutes demand zones. Okay. Next, for 5 minutes time frame, stocks near 5 minutes supply zone, we got 7 stocks. Out of these 7 supply zones, how many are having ITF supply zone confluence? That is 5 minute supply zone with 15 minute supply zone confluence. I am enabling the filter. With this filter, we got only 1 stock. So this 5 minute supply zone is overlapped with 15 minute supply zone. So this is about stocks near demand and supply zones for different time frames. Now in the next report, we will generate NIFTY and BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain. So Nifty 50, I am generating monthly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. So this is NIFTY monthly supply demand zone chain. Always look into the zone column to find the high liquidity zones, and look into the pierced column to identify pierced zones. Always look into LTF trend to find the trend of the current time frame you have selected. Same rules you apply to the remaining reports, supply demand zone chain reports. Okay, this is monthly supply demand zone chain. Next, weekly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Okay, next, daily supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Okay, next, 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. This is the nearest demand zone to the current closing price. Okay, next, 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. 19th is the nearest demand zone to the current closing price. Okay, next 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Serial number 30. This is the nearest demand zone to the current closing price, 15 minutes demand zone. So let me put it in the center so that you know equal number of demand and supply zones below and above. This is 15 minutes supply demand zone chain. Okay, next 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. All these are all supply zones. Let me scroll the list down to find the demand zones. Okay, 50. Serial number 50 is the nearest demand zone to the current closing price. Let me put it in the center so that you know equal number of demand and supply zones below and above. Okay. So this is about the Nifty supply demand zone chain. Next, BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain we will generate. I am going back. So changing the symbol code to Nifty Bank, that is nothing but BANKNIFTY. Generating monthly supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Okay, next weekly supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Okay, next daily supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. 11th is the nearest demand zone to the current closing price. Okay, next 25 minutes demand supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. 16th is the nearest demand zone to the current closing price, 25 minutes demand zone. Okay, next 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty, BANKNIFTY. 22nd is the nearest Pierce demand zone. Let me put it in the center. Okay. This is the 15 minutes supply demand zone chain. Next 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. 31 is the nearest demand zone. I am scrolling the list so that I can put it in the center. Okay. So this is the 31 is the nearest 5 minutes demand zone for the closing price. So this is about Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain. With this we have completed both Nifty and Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain. Next we will generate income trade reports, bullish and bearish trade setups for all the 4 income trades: monthly, weekly, daily and hourly income trades. Let me start with monthly income trade. Bullish trade setup, entry time frame is daily, entry zone is demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at entry time frame daily, I am selecting bullish, and zone achievement should be violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhancer score 12. With these filters we got 14 stocks. These 14 stocks are currently supporting bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. We can further filter this list based on this zone confluence. First filter is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. Let me apply that filter. LTF and ITF, that is daily and weekly demand zone confluence for monthly income trade. So we got 9 stocks. In these 9 stocks, these daily demand zones are overlapped with weekly demand zones, and the weekly trend is up. If weekly demand zone is having weekly EMA confluence, then those filtered zones are even more high probability trade setup supported zones. So let me filter with EMA confluence, weekly EMA confluence. So at weekly time frame, weekly demand zone having weekly EMA. Anyway, weekly trend is up for bullish trade setup. So 4 stocks are filtered. Excuse me. These 4 stocks are currently supporting bullish trade setup for monthly income trader. Did you notice here? Nestle is near high liquidity zone and it is supporting bullish trade setup currently for monthly income trade. And moreover, this daily zone is overlapped with weekly zone. And the weekly zone is having weekly EMA confluence. And it is a high liquidity zone. Interesting. HR motor is inside the demand zone. Okay, this is based on LTF and ITF. Next, let us filter based on LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence. Removing EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, 3 filters I have to set. This is the first filter already enabled. Second filter, daily with monthly demand zone confluence. Weekly with monthly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 demand zone confluence, we got 3 stocks. See, Nestle is also filtered. That means this daily demand zone is overlapped with weekly demand zone. Both together again overlapped with monthly demand zone. And moreover, this stock weekly demand zone is having weekly EMA confluence. It's a very powerful zone. Okay, next, out of these 3, all are uptrend. Let us check if any of these 3 stocks again having any monthly EMA confluence. This is already high probability. And our interest should be on the remaining 2. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence, monthly time frame. Why monthly? Because daily and weekly together part of the monthly zone. So monthly demand zone with monthly EMA, and a monthly trend for all the 3 stocks are up. So all 3 are filtered again. That means Nestle is even having monthly zone having monthly EMA. Weekly zone is having weekly EMA. So it is a very high probability trade setup. But you need to identify 5 minutes order flows are there or not. Fine-tuned 5 minute zones. If that is there, Nestle is a very high probability to get the success. So this is bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Okay, entry time frame daily, entry zone, supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at daily, I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement VWZ, minimum odd enhancer score 12. With these filters, we got 4 stocks. Currently, these 4 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for monthly income trade, and entry time frame is daily supply zones. We have 4 daily supply zones. Out of these 4 daily supply zones, how many supply zones are having? All are high liquidity zones. How many are having ITF confluence? Let us verify. That is a daily supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. So I enabled the filter. With this filter, we got 3 stocks. So that means in these 3 stocks, these daily supply zones are overlapped with weekly supply zone, and weekly trend is down in all the 3 stocks. Let us verify how many of these weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA confluence. So weekly time frame, I am setting the filter weekly supply zone with weekly EMA confluence. We got only 1 stock. So this weekly supply zone is having weekly EMA confluence, and daily zone is overlapped with weekly zone. This is based on LTF and ITF. Now we will also look into HTF confluence also. LTF, ITF, HTF. I removed EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, 3 filters I have to set. First filter is already enabled, daily with weekly. Next, daily with monthly supply zone confluence. Weekly supply zone with monthly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 2 stocks. In these 2 stocks, these daily supply zones are overlapped with weekly supply zone. Both together overlapped with monthly supply zone. And monthly trend is down only for this stock. If this stock is having monthly EMA, this is even more high probability trade setup supported zone. But it is a, fine. Now let's go to the EMA confluence. In the monthly time frame, monthly supply zone with monthly EMA confluence filter is enabled, and trend on the monthly should not be sideways, and it should be down because it is bearish trade setup. So we got this stock. That means this is even more high probability trade setup monthly supply zone. So this is bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Next we will look into weekly income trades. First, bullish trade setup, entry time frame 75 minutes, entry zone demand zone, bullish or bearish trade setup, entry time frame 75 minutes, I am selecting bullish, and 75 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means pierced count is 0. That means pierced count 0 means zone is not pierced. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhanced score 12. All 3 filters are applied to 75 minutes demand zone. And we got 3 stocks. Currently these 3 stocks are supporting bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. And these entry time frame zones are 75 minutes demand zones. Out of these 3 zones, how many are having ITF confluence? Let us verify. That is 75 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. I am enabling that filter. Out of 3, we got all the 3. That means in all the 3 stocks, these 75 minutes demand zones are overlapped with the daily demand zone. And daily trend is up in all the 3 stocks. If any of these 3 stocks are having daily EMA confluence, they are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence at daily time frame, I am setting daily demand zone is having daily EMA confluence or not. So we got 1 stock. So this is even more high probability trade setup supported stock. That's why it is already tested 3 times. Okay, next let us look for LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence. I am removing this EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, I should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled. Second, daily demand zone with monthly demand zone confluence. Something mistake I did here. Sorry. First one is already 75 with daily. Third filter is daily with 75 with weekly demand zone confluence. Enabled. Let me remove this filter, wrong filter I set here. And daily demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence with all the 3 filters. LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone Confluence, we got one stock. Let's check demand zone. See, weekly with daily, weekly with 75 and daily with 75. So that means in this stock, this 75 minutes demand zone is overlapped with daily, both together overlapped with weekly, and weekly trend is up. If this weekly demand zone having weekly EMA, then this stock is even more high probability trade setup supported stock. Let's verify. In the EMA Confluence, weekly time frame, weekly demand zone having weekly EMA Confluence or not. With this filter, we got the stock. So that means this is even more high probability trade setup supported stock. That's why this stock is already tested 4 times. Excellent. So this is bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame 75 minutes. Entry zone, supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 75 minutes, I am selecting bearish. And 75 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 75 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0, zone achievement VOZ, minimum odd enhancer score should be 12. With all the 3 filters, we got 21 stocks supporting bearish trade setup for weekly income trade, and for 16 stocks on the list. I am scrolling the list down. So total 21 stocks are filtered. Out of these 21, how many of these 21 stocks are having high probability to get the success? So let us identify based on the zone confluence and EMA confluence. First, LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. That is 75 minutes and daily supply zone confluence. I am enabling that filter, 75 minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. With this filter, out of 21, the list is reduced to 17 stocks. So first 15 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So total 17 stocks. That means in all these 17 stocks, these 75 minute supply zones are overlapped with daily supply zone. And daily trend is down in all these stocks. That is ITF trend. So if daily supply zone is having daily EMA confluence, then these 75 minute supply zones are even more high probability trade setup supported zones. Let us identify how many daily supply zones are having daily EMA confluence. Why daily? Because of 75 minute zone is overlapped with daily. That's why we are looking into the daily. If daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence or not. Anyway, trend is downtrend. See, now from 17 the list is come down to 13 stocks. So these 13 supply zones are even more high probability trade setups to get the success. We are not saying everything will be success, but high probability to get success. Some of them will definitely give good trades. Okay, out of these 13, this 13. Next we will look into LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence. That is 75 minutes daily and weekly supply zone confluence. Removing this ITF EMA filter, we are focusing on HTF now. So in the supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled. Second filter, 75 minute supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. Daily supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters enabled, LTF, ITF, HTF, supply zone confluence, we got 4 stocks. So in these 4 stocks, these 75 minute supply zones are overlapped with daily supply zone. Both together again overlapped with weekly supply zone. And weekly trend is down only 2 stocks. In these 2 stocks, if a weekly EMA confluence is there, then those stocks could be even more high probability to get the success. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence, weekly time frame, checking the filter, weekly supply zone is having weekly EMA confluence or not. And trend should not be sideways on weekly. It should be only downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. So none of those zones are having weekly EMA confluence. Fine. This is about a bearish trade setup for some mistake we did. I set a wrong filter here. See, weekly demand zone I selected. I have to select weekly supply zone. Sorry for the mistake. I am going back. So this is the way the search filter will be helping our finding our mistake. See, weekly time frame, I should select weekly supply zone with weekly EMA confluence. See here, our entry time frame is supply zone, 75-minute supply zone. That's why our 75-minute supply zone is overlapped with weekly supply zone. That's why we are looking for weekly supply zone with weekly EMA. Now let me filter. So both the stocks are filtered. That means these two are even more high probability trade setup supported zones. Okay, good. This is about a weekly income trade, bearish trade setup. Next, daily income trade, bullish trade setup. Entry time frame is 15 minutes. Entry zone is a demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup, 15 minutes time frame, I am selecting bullish, and 15 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count, at 15 minutes time frame, setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0, that means zone is not pierced. Zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhancer score 12. All three filters are applied to 15 minutes demand zone. We got 4 stocks. Currently these 4 stocks are supporting bullish trade setup for daily income trade, and entry time frame is a 15 minutes demand zones. We have 4 15 minutes demand zones. Out of these 4 15 minutes demand zones, how many are having ITF demand zone confluence? Let us verify. That is 15 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone confluence. I am enabling the filter. With this filter applied on the 4 stocks, we got all the 4 stocks. That means all these 15 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. Okay, 75 minutes trend is up in all these stocks. If any of these 75 minutes demand zones are having daily EMA confluence, they are even more high probability to get the success. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting the filter. 75 minutes demand zone is having daily EMA confluence or not. With this filter, we got 2 stocks. So these 2 are even more high probability trade setup supported zones. These 15 minutes demand zones. Okay, this is based on LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. Next, LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence. Let us filter. I am removing this EMA filter because it is ITF specific. Now we should focus on HTF. So in the demand zone confluence, first filter is already enabled. Second filter, 15 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. Third filter, 75 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters enabled, we got 3 stocks. In these 3 stocks, these 15 minutes demand zones are overlapped with daily demand zone. 75 minutes demand zone. Both together again overlapped with daily demand zone. Both together. That is what zone confluence. Okay, now out of these 3, 2 are having uptrend. Which trend? Daily trend. Because all are overlapped with daily, and if the daily demand zone is having daily EMA confluence with uptrend, then those stocks could be even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let us verify. In the EMA confluence, at daily time frame, I am setting the filter, daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence or not. But a trend on the daily should not be sideways. It should be uptrend because it is bullish trade setup. So with this filter, we got both these stocks having the uptrend, daily trend uptrend. So these 2 are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks to get the success. Maybe that is the reason why JSW Steel already tested 4 times. Okay, this is about bullish trade setup, daily income trade. Next, bearish trade setup, daily income trade. Entry time frame is 15 minutes. So entry zone is supply zone in bullish or bearish trade setup. At 15 minutes time frame, I am selecting bearish. And 15 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count, at 15 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Zone achievement VOZ, minimum odd enhancer score 12. With all the three filters, we got 21 stocks. These 21 stocks are currently supporting bearish trade setup for daily income trade, and entry time frame zones are 15 minutes supply zones. So first 16 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So total 21 stocks are filtered. Out of these 21, let us further filter based on the zone confluence. First filter is LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. That is 15 minutes and 75 minutes supply zone confluence. So let me set that filter in the supply zone confluence. So with this filter, 15 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone confluence, we got 15 stocks out of 27. That means these 15 minute supply zones are overlapped with 75 minute supply zones. All these 15 minute supply zones, they are overlapped with 75. And 75 minutes trend, ITF trend, is a downtrend. If 75 minute supply zone is having daily EMA confluence, then those zones could be even more high probability trade setup to get the success. Let us verify. In the EMA confluence, at 75 minutes time frame, because 15 minute supply zone overlapped with 75. That's why we are looking for 75 minute supply zone is having daily EMA confluence or not. With this filter, we got 3 stocks. So these 3 are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. But this is based on LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. Next, we should look for LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence. So I am removing this EMA filter, which is ITF specific. Now we should focus on HTF specific. So in the supply zone confluence, first filter is already enabled. Second filter, 15 minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. 75 minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence, we got 6 stocks. In all these 6 stocks, these 15 minute supply zones are overlapped with 75 minute supply zone. Both together again overlapped with daily supply zone. And the daily trend is down in only 2 stocks. If any of these 2 stocks are having daily EMA confluence, then there could be even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let us verify. In the EMA confluence at a daily time frame, I am setting the filter. Daily supply zone is having daily EMA confluence or not, and the trend on the daily time frame should not be sideways. It should be downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. With these filters, we got both the stocks. That means both these 15 minute supply zones are even more high probability trade setup supported zones. So this is about bearish trade setup for daily income trade. And the next income trade is hourly income trade. Hourly income trade, bullish trade setup, entry time frame 5 minutes, entry zone, demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 5 minutes, I am selecting bullish, and 5 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. On the pierced count at 5 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0, zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhancer score 12. All 3 filters are applied to 5 minutes demand zone. Now we got only 2 stocks. Currently these 2 are supporting bullish trade setup for hourly income trade. Let's check whether these 2 are having ITF confluence. In the demand zone Confluence, I am setting the filter 5 minutes demand zone with 15 minutes demand zone Confluence. So only one stock. Dr. Reddy, this 5 minutes demand zone is overlapped with 15 minutes demand zone. And it is uptrend. Let us check if 15 minutes demand zone is having any daily EMA Confluence. Mostly we won't get, it's not easy, but let's check, sometimes may happen. I'm setting 15 minutes demand zone having, some mistake I'm doing here. EMA Confluence at 15 minutes demand zone. Checking 15 minutes demand zone is having daily EMA Confluence or not. So that is not having any daily EMA Confluence. Fine. And removing EMA. Now let's check LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone Confluence. How many stocks are available? All the three demand zone Confluence. 5 minutes with 15 minutes is already enabled. 5 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone Confluence. 15 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone Confluence. With all the three filters, LTF, ITF, HTF, we don't have any stocks. Okay, this is about bullish trade setup, hourly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup, hourly income trade. Entry time frame 5 minutes, entry zone, supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup, at 5 minutes I am selecting bearish, and 5 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count, at 5 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0, zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhanced score 12. All three filters are applied to 5 minute supply zone. And we got 22 stocks. First 15 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So total 22 stocks are filtered. Out of these 22, how many of these supply zones, 5 minute supply zones, are having ITF Confluence? Let's verify. That is 5 minute supply zone with 15 minute supply zone Confluence. So I am enabling the filter 5 minute supply zone with 15 minute supply zone Confluence. With this filter, we got 14 stocks. In these 14 stocks, these 5 minute supply zones are overlapped with 15 minute supply zone. And 15 minutes trend is down in all these stocks because it is bearish trade setup, the ITF trend. If any of the 15 minute supply zones are having daily EMA, maybe those zones may get even a little extra probability to get the success. Let's verify. In the EMA Confluence at 15 minutes time frame, I am checking 15 minute supply zone is having daily EMA Confluence or not. With this filter, we got 2 stocks. And moreover, both these stocks are high liquidity zones, the supply zones. So these 5 minute supply zones are overlapped with 15 minute supply zone. That 15 minute supply zone is having daily EMA Confluence. Okay, next let us look for LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone Confluence. Removing EMA filter. In the supply zone Confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled, 5 minutes with 15 minutes. Second filter, 5 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone Confluence. Third filter, 15 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone Confluence. With all the 3 filters, 5 minutes, 15 minutes and 75 minute supply zone Confluence, we got 7 stocks. In all these 7 stocks, these 5 minute supply zones are overlapped with 15 minute supply zone. Both together again overlapped with 75 minute supply zone. And 75 minutes trend is down in 4 stocks. And out of these 4, any of these 75 minute supply zones are having daily EMA Confluence. Those stocks could be having a even more high probability to get the success. Let's verify. In the EMA Confluence at 75 minutes time frame, checking whether 75 minute supply zone is having daily EMA Confluence or not. And also in the trend at 75 minutes time frame should not be sideways. It should be only downtrend because bearish trade setup. With these filters, we got 1 stock. So this stock could be having even more high probability to get the success. This is about bearish trade setup for hourly income trade. So with this we have completed all the income trade reports, and in the final report let us generate stop buffers based on daily ATR. So these are the daily ATRs and their stop buffer values. First 17 in this list are indices, remaining all are equity stocks. I am scrolling the list down. Whichever the stock you want to refer, there you pause the video. Okay, I am scrolling the list down. This is the end of the report. Hope this information will be useful to you for your further study and analysis. Let's all meet again in our next video. Thank you.